Welcome to Reality with Kiki. I'm your host, Kiki, and on this channel, we discuss reality TV, celebrity gossip, and viral topics. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like our content. You can also follow us on our Facebook page. A link will be in the description box below, and we also have it linked in our bio. All right, so ready to love. I'm kind of excited for this season because last season I really got into this show and it was good. So what I just find interesting about the show is like every time it starts, it's always like the men are like, I seen that body and she curvy in all the right places. I want her. And right, like the women do it too, of course. Like, oh my God, he's so tall, he's chocolate, blah blah blah. And I'm not saying that you can't have preferences or you shouldn't be attracted to the person that you're trying to spend your time with. But I feel like that's what a lot of these people have been doing all along, right? You're looking at the external, you're not really digging deep, and things are not working out. So you're repeating that same cycle. All right, so you can always see who was going to be a problem. So Corey it is already just like going around to like every single woman trying to ask them out on dates, trying to get their number. Oh, I'm gonna take you out on a date, interrupting other conversations and pulling women to the side, saying, "Here, look, I'm gonna take you out on a date." And I'm just like, he swear he Rico Suave, but like your game is lame. And it was just like it was weird. Like even like one of the women that he pulled aside, he was like just like you know I'm just really feeling your energy. I would like to take this further. I would like to take you out. And she was just like, I was confused because I was trying to figure out what energy I was exuding. We didn't even have a conversation. So, and I don't even like, so they had a guy like that last season. He was like, he going to take all these different women out on trips. And it worked against him. And that might be the same thing that happens with for Corey because you have all these women and once everybody sit down and it's like dang you asked 8 out of 10 women on a date, it kind of seems like you're not serious, you're just trying to stay in everybody's faces so that you can remain on the show and you're not trying to find that one. It's just like obviously when you first meet all these different people it's a lot going on, but to initially try to take out 80% of the women without really making a genuine connection is a little off putting. Okay, so there is a couple that seem to hit it off like almost immediately, Cornelius and Camille. And she is just like all over him, like, that is my man. I know what I want. This is it. And Cornelius is kind of like he's feeling her, but he's like he don't want to put his eggs all in one basket. And he kind of wants to get to know some of the other ladies as well. And I'm like, Camille, you might want to do the same because if he is not all in from jump, it might not work. I mean, it could work, right? Because he already knows like this is somebody I'm also just interested in, and it may not work out with the other ladies, but that's risky. Okay, so Aisha is talking to Lamont. They're having a conversation, and she's just like, what do you do for work? And he tells her, and then he's just like, outside of that, on the side, I am very into spoken word. So she's like, okay. So they're having a conversation, and he just bust out like in some spoken word. And I could kind of tell in her face it was a little bit uncomfortable, and it's weird. Like, especially since like she didn't say, "Oh, I want to hear something." She didn't say, "Oh, that's something that I'm also very interested in." It it was weird. And like if like imagine like you're talking to somebody and they just bust out in song or like in a rap. Like it's giving the same energy. Why would you do something like that? Yeah, I don't know. The energy was just weird. Like somebody, if somebody did that to me, I probably would write you off because, for one, you're not picking up on social cues, but two, like, why do you think that that's okay? Okay, so Walter was discussing how he he was previously married. He met his wife. He supported her through medical school. When she finished, she proposed. They got married. A year into their marriage, she passed away. Um, I like when people are transparent and open on reality TV, but that was like really deep and dark. Um, because that's kind of sad. That's very sad. And then he, connected with Sabrina, and I don't know if I would call it trauma bonding or just a connection because she was talking about how she has work and she's a single mom and she's also the caretaker for her parents who are older. Her dad has dementia, so she is dealing with a lot. Like there's a lot on her shoulders. There's a lot on her plate. Finding time can be difficult at times for her. And he talked about how he was the caretaker for his mom, and his mom died in his arms. And he's telling another story again, and Sabrina got really emotional about it, and just a real person, real reaction. She's emotional about her situation. Um, but I was just like, that's kind of surprising to be like getting deep and get into that level with people that you're first meeting. I don't know. It would be difficult for me. Obviously, like you have to have a lot of courage to do something like this, to do a show like this, because me, when I first meet people, like I'm very surface level. Like I am not trying to get deep with you, okay? And just as I suspected, the next thing you know, Corey gets caught up because the ladies are having a conversation and everybody is just like, yeah, he asked me out. Oh, he said he was feeling my energy. Oh, he told me this. And so he's feeding all the same lines to all of these ladies, and they're kind of like not feeling him now. They're like, nope, you are thirsty. You're not being genuine. Like, are you seriously trying to find the one? Or are you just trying to take everybody out? Are you just here to try to hit on women? Right. So we are getting down to elimination. So tonight they are going to eliminate two people, one man and one woman. So for the men, it came down to Corey and Lamont. And I was kind of hoping that they would get Corey out of there just because he was doing too much. But I had a feeling that they was going to get Lamont up and out because a lot of the conversations that he was having were awkward. And I don't know if it has anything to do with his job because I think he's like something like in tech or something. And you know how they say like the tech guys are kind of awkward. I don't know, but the girls weren't feeling him. The other issue that I'm having with Corey is that like I think that he thinks very highly of himself. That's what he gives off, and like he thinks he's the prize. And when men think that they're the prize, they're usually a problem. So when he was in his confessional, he's like, "Yeah, I already gave my number to like four of the ladies, and da 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 da, and one of them I probably shouldn't even gave my number to." And then when he was talking to Tommy, he's like, "Oh, I threw out my entire playbook. Like I'm just open to any and everything." And that kind of like I was looking sideways because I'm like, don't act like they got a whole bunch of bums off the street to put on this show. Like, and nothing against bums, but a lot of these women are well established and well put together. So don't act like it's, you know, a bunch of choices that you typically wouldn't be into, because they got black women of all flavors. And if none of these women are what you're typically into, then why are you on this show? Because this show is specifically featuring black singles. Okay, so now they move on to the elimination for the ladies. So it comes down to Tasia and Libby. And with Tasia, a lot of the men felt like she was firing off too many questions, that she was getting a bit invasive. And I'm like, that's interesting to me just because I feel like a lot of the conversations were invasive. But y'all didn't like it from her because maybe you don't like her or not attracted to her. And Libby, I can see just because she seemed to be a bit all over the place, like from like her conversation to even just like with her hair and stuff, it looked a little disheveled. Um, so they decided on Libby. She looked shocked that she was voted off. Because I think that like her persona is like a bubbly personality. So she kind of was just like, I was talking to everyone. I was bubbly. Why didn't you like me? But I don't think that she was picking up on those social cues either, because a lot of those men, when she was having a conversation, they were kind of like making like a face that like they're just not interested. So Tasia was also very surprised that she was in the bottom two. She was just like, y'all playing games because I got 4 or 5 phone numbers in my phone right now. Like we're exchanging numbers, but you really not feeling me. And this is what I was saying earlier about how like I think she was one of the ones that came in and somebody was saying something about her body, like, oh, you know, her body, she looked good, whatever, whatever. And just because a man exchanges phone numbers with you doesn't mean that he's trying to get to know you. Um, and it is really hard to decipher on the show because people could be up here to play games, people up here to get exposure on TV. It's really hard to tell who's ready to love, who's really looking for love, because I feel like this show is notorious for the cast sleeping with each other, the cast playing games, and just up here to get more exposure because they're trying to get famous. It's it's a lot. So, I don't blame Tasia for feeling the way that she did, for feeling some type of way. But the men on this show are no different than any other men. There are plenty of men who will have no problem entertaining a woman they're not really interested in, but will have no problem sleeping with them. And I think that that might have been the case for her. This season does look like it's going to be juicy, so I'm excited to watch and review. But you guys, and let me know what you think about this episode down in the comments below, and I will speak to you next time.